Hello, my name is Micah, and today we're going to be installing a Renogy 40 amp DC to DC charger. It is going to be on a 2005 E350 Turbo Diesel with rail mounted batteries. There's two under here. I'll show you. Two bolts on the left side of the front battery box. The top is a 13 right here. If I can get it to focus. 13, and the bottom is a 14. And on this side, of course, you got a stall. This one, of course, is a 13 on bottom, but there is no top one, so oh well. And then I haven't even tried these yet, but I've got to get those two, this ground off, and then two more over here somewhere if you can see them. Still have to do, let me show you. Going down. Still have to take off this connector right here, which positive connector here and here, because this is going to have to come down. There's not a lot of slack, and I don't want to mess nothing up, so take this off, still got to take this ground off. This bolt is loose already. There's not one up top, just like on the other side. I'll actually probably have to take off this ground cable right there also. And then I'm gonna lower them both down at the same time. Hey, so just a little word to the wise. So instead of trying to just put enough power on it to overcome, because what's gonna happen is when it breaks, when I do break the torque, I'm going to end up punching this. So what you want to do is put a wrench on there. Sorry, I got my camera on front facing. You're going to want to put a wrench on there, get it tight, and then you're going to want to just hold it and get a hammer and hit it like this and break the torque that way. That way, when it breaks, your hand's not smashing into something metal. I've got cuts all over my hands that are probably going to be there forever from punching stuff, breaking torque on bolts. So, I mean, even me hitting it with a hammer, you can see how tough that is. Gosh. Okay, first of all, you just stay up there out of the way. Thank you. There. Yeah, I've got a cheater pipe or, you know, something. There we go, I felt it. And these should just be straight into the rail. They shouldn't have, yeah, they don't have a bracket on the back. So these are going to be pretty easy to undo once you get them loosened. And like I said, what I like to do is put the bolts back in the frame where they go. Even though the bracket's disconnected now, put the bolt back in the frame. Something like that. Okay. Now just gotta get this other side out. Most of the time when I'm taking these bolts off, I'm not even looking. I've got such a weird angle on them from where I'm laying that I'm just feeling with my fingers Like right now I'm using my arm as a pillow, but I've got a pretty good idea of where everything's at, so keep all the pressure off the bolt. That way you're just spinning the bolt and you're not hitting it on the threads on this bracket. So that's what my left hand is doing. It's holding the bracket up off of the bolt while I spin it out. Boom, that's disconnected. Put this, are these self-taps? Nope, just bolts. I'm sure they wouldn't be, they drilled first. Anyway, let's screw these back in. I laid down one last time, made sure that all the bolts would slide smoothly over, and they are both slid over now. And now what I can do is set down the phone, of course, and slowly lower the jacks at the same time and pull them forward as I go down, and make sure you don't hear anything that sounds like it's snagging. If so, stop, check, remove something else you may need to, and continue to lower them all the way down, or as far as you need to access the positive and the negative port of whichever battery. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I am in my uncle/mechanic's truck, and I'm headed to Ace Hardware to buy some 8-gauge wire. We were thinking about maybe running it to the starter. You cannot run the 40 amp or the 20 amp DC to DC charger to your alternator. It makes way too much power and it will burn it up. Do not connect to your alternator. Cool. But you can connect it to your starter, because your starter is 12 volts or, you know, whatever. So, but we decided against that just because my solar system is currently not grounded to the chassis at all. I wanted to keep the systems completely separate. They are all grounded to itself and grounded to the batteries, but the batteries themselves are not grounded to the chassis. So, I'm gonna get probably, he said 10 foot. I think 10 foot will actually do it. I'm gonna do 10 foot red, 10 foot black, 8-gauge. I've already got crimpers and the end, whatever they're called, to make bolt connections. So, and I've got 50 amp fuses, I believe. So, I'll see y'all at Ace Hardware. Alright, so we are currently at Ace Hardware in the wire section. Here we have 8-gauge stranded. So what stranded means is it's not one solid piece. It is multiple pieces. If I can get it to focus. Anyway, it's a bunch of different pieces. It's not one solid piece like this. It really does not matter as long as you put a good crimp connection on it. 59 cents per foot, I'm assuming. So we're gonna get 10 of this and 10 of this. So we had a little bit of a problem at Ace Hardware. It said they were 59 cents per foot, and I get up to the counter. One of them's 79 cents a foot, and the other one's $1.99 a foot. And I said, no. It said 59 back there on the counter, on the shelf. And so I went back there and looked, and sure enough, it says 59 cents and 59 cents. I had someone cut the wire for me. That way they knew exactly and they could write me a receipt. And the one that he pulled, I didn't know what the price was, so that's why I went to check. And yeah, no, they're 59 cents a piece. And the guy said, oh, well, we got them listed wrong here. We'll have it right the next time you come. I said, no, that's false advertising. It says 59, it's 59. You can't tell me it's one price. I pick it with a no refund policy that you guys have after it's been cut, and then tell me you're gonna charge me more. No, instead of paying 59 cents, you know, which would have been $6, right? Something like that per line. It came out to like 30 bucks, and I said, no, that's not right. So anyway, instead of paying 30 bucks, I paid 12 and some change. So don't let nobody try to mess you over like that. If you've got it listed at that, that's not my problem. I came here to buy something. You should be ready. Now they're gonna get it fixed. So when I was originally ordering the little things I needed for my solar system, I ran I have a 40 amp charge controller, and so when you want to do your overcurrent protection, you want to do 1.25 times the max current that's going to get. So for a 40 amp, you get a 50 amp fuse, and that's how you can do all the rest of your stuff. So for my 40 amp charge controller right here, I ordered a 50 amp. However, when I first ordered it, I did not have, here it is, it's a bolt-on fuse, 50 amp, 100 amp. I did not have prime, and so it was going to take too long. So then I ordered it. It said it wasn't going to be here for like a month, and I was like, no, I need to have it before then. So I ended up buying Amazon Prime, and then I ordered 2 more 50 amps so I would have backups if that one blew. Those 2 are going to come in handy today because it's a 40 amp DC to DC charger, which means it needs a 50 amp fuse. If you're doing the 20, it's going to be 5 more, because 20 divided by 4, which would be 0.25, is 5 amps. So for a 20 amp DC to DC charger, use a 25 amp fuse. All right, before we can know how big of a terminal to put on this, we're gonna go ahead and take these. I don't know if they want wire going straight to this or if they want an actual connector. So I'm gonna take it all the way off and see what it would look like with a connector. So I'm trying to, let's turn it upside down. Okay, so it is just going to a hard block. So obviously a connector would be the best. But we take this off, and then we can grab this and find 8 gauge, which is going to be these 2 on top. And it tells you on there 10.6, 10.8. There's a 10.8. And there's a 10.6. It says on the little terminal. So we want to see which one of these fits the best. Sorry, water on my screen. That one's pretty tight. I like that one. Way too big. So we're going to be using 10.6. We're going to need 2 of these for here and 2 of these for here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they will also need to connect to the battery post here. I'll probably end up running another fuse off of this. I may put the fuse right after this. I think that'd be better. Yeah, we'll see. Let me crimp it and see how I like it. Alright, I'm in my van. I closed the doors. That way there's not as much exposure. That's how we're going to do it. I had to borrow wire strippers. I left mine in storage. So, you can kind of look, see about how far it needs to go. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can always tape it or use shrink. This always scares me. like those compared to mine. Oh well. Now here's the problem though, is I don't know if I can get all this in there. Oh, yeah, it was easy. Yeah, it fit really nice. So, now, there's not really one of these for what I'm doing, so I'm just going to use, actually there is yellow. I don't know which one's yellow though, it doesn't say. It's color coded, but it's so old it doesn't say. Alright, I'm going to crimp this closer to the bottom. And I mean, I don't have a hammer one, so you make sure it's pressed all the way in. When you try to grab it with two hands, sometimes it'll slide out a little bit. You don't want that. Ooh, man. This will do it up here. Ready? Go! I don't think I really bent that at all. I don't know. I squeeze it hard. That's on there. Do it one more time just to make sure. I want to put it in the exact same spot. Tug on it, make sure it's solid. Cool. So now, this is going from the house batteries to this. I did negative first. This says negative and positive on there. Negative is going to be this one closest to the outside, away from the fans, on this side. And it's okay to go ahead and hook this all the way, for the simple fact it's not going to kick on without an accessory switch or an ignition switch, which is what the D15 is. So even if this is wired from battery to batteries, it's not going to kick on without that little bitty accessory switch. There we go. Cool. Now the red, which is already ran. So, I'm gonna have to move up top. Give me a second. I'll set you guys up like right in there. I don't know if that's gonna stay. I'm gonna move you guys back. Give me a sec. Leaned up against my inverter. Right, so we've got the red wire here, right there in front of me. Get your crimp connectors, your crimpers. This very bottom one is 10. Go about that same distance. Man, I hate squeezing all the way. Cool, got that one good. Grab another one of these, slide it on, grab your crimpers, hold it down, make sure you're keeping it tight, and then go down a little more and do it again. Give it a tug. Solid. And move this control switch over here somewhere. Cool. So, this is kind of long. Give me a second. Rerouting some of these wires. There we go. Just a little bit of slack in it. Still got plenty of space with this charger to run it anywhere over here on this wall. With these crimp connectors, or the crimpers. Keep saying crimp connectors. This is going to go right here. Try to give you guys an angle. Can you see right there? There you go. I have to twist this wire a little bit, line everything up. I always drop the bolt. Nothing's ever easy, ever. All right, hold it. Oh, man. Right. Yeah. Once we get it run from here, we can run it through the wall. Make sure we get all the slack out. That way we can make it all the way. I got 10 foot. 10 foot's not going to be enough because I still have to go from the other side to my solar batteries. But those are on nice and tight. Cool. So now what we're going to do is get this negative wire. Get this out of the way first. Right, somewhere like that. I'm trying to give you guys a good angle. Yeah, cool. So, get all the crinkles out of it. Run it the same way. Now, when you're doing this and you're sliding across these, make sure there's nothing sharp, because I do have a soft sheathing wire. And run it across back here. Okay, tuck it in. And then run it down. Hold on. Welcome back. So I've decided there's a lot of daisy chaining and extra wires going on. I'm just going to take off this bolt going through the terminal, and I'm going to connect directly between this flat side and the terminal. So I'm going to take this bolt all the way out, attach a 8 gauge 10-6 is what it is. Let me see, 10-8. So it's got a little bit bigger hole versus the ones we put on the inside. You can see that's pretty tight. And it's going to go through just like this. And that'll get tightened in through there. And just like that. So I need to go ahead and crimp these on first. I decided I couldn't get through this little hole in the corner, so I'm just going to go through there and pull all the slack flat and up and over, because I am going to build a shelf here. Anyway, I'll see y'all when I get done crimping. Alright, so I've got the bolt going through the DC to DC charger wire then through the terminal, through the bolt, or through the nut. Same on the other side. Running up through the floor right there. I used an existing hole because just tired of messing with it. I cut a slit in this little rubber grommet that was there. And then I'll probably just fill this in with silicone on both sides, top and bottom. Ran it up through the wall, through here, up through, up and around, up there. Now I've got this really close, but once I get the batteries pulled all the way up and secured, I can move this back into place. Plus this is going to get cut and I'm going to get a fuse installed right there. Or right here. I'll probably put the fuse here. Anyway, I'll see y'all when I get everything put back together. Alright, I am headed back up to Ace Hardware to buy some more wire because we only measured from the car batteries to the DC to DC charger control panel area. So I know they're not going to let me get it for 59 cents like I did the first time, but I'm not going to pay $1.99 per foot just because it's red. I will get the 79-cent per foot black or whatever color it is and just get double the length and just run the same color wire for both. I'll label everything. I always look to see where it's connected because I have positive wires that are green and I have positive wires that are red. I mean, I've got a couple different colors on my fuse panel box because I just used all the excess wires that came out of the ambulance portion that wasn't running to anything. Anyways, I'll see y'all when we get back to the van. I'll let y'all know how it goes. Alright, everything went good at Ace. I just wrote my own ticket because there was nobody there to cut my wire, and I went up there and she said, hey, these codes aren't working. I said, well, I put the right code down. Let me go take a picture. So I took a picture, brought it to her, and apparently I wrote a 4 and she thought it was a 9 or something. I just bad handwriting. Anyway, but she said, oh, they still say 59 cents? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, okay, they're 59 cents a foot. I said, yeah, thank you. So, oh, happy that worked out. Just another $12, which $24 is still less than what they were going to charge me, which was 30 foot. Sorry, let me get off the gas. Hey, you guys want to know something? I am in a Dodge Dakota, 310,857 original miles, original engine. Like I said, this is my uncle, his truck. Everybody uses it at the shop if they're working on their vehicle and need to run somewhere, or, you know, he drives it daily, but it's pretty much the shop truck. Anyway, I'll see y'all back at the van. What's going on, everybody? I'm back. I currently have the positive and the negative through that hole wired to my diesel batteries, running through that hole, up through here, through this back. Positive and negative running to the input, because these are getting input from the alternators, which is giving input to this device. And then output, positive and negative, ran over to here. Not yet connected. I don't know why, I just haven't yet. I just connected a D plus cable. This is going to be the last thing that I run. This is what makes this thing turn on. You want this to only turn on when you turn on the ignition. So I'm going to run this wire across, down, probably to the floor, over and up to the fuse panel. And I'm going to find some fuse that gets power when the ignition is on. Radio, something like that. One of those fuses. There's a bunch of spare ones. I'll get a multimeter, find which one's not hot with the key off, which one's hot with the key on, and wire it to that one. I'll come back and do that last. Right now, I am going to get all this connected, spaced where I want it, and then I'm going to cut it and wire in these 50 amps. So I'm finding out where I'm going to bolt these two, getting them ready. I really can't put this back into place until I lift those batteries up. So I'm probably going to go ahead, lift the batteries back up into place, and then I'm going to add on these fuses. I'll be back after that. Hello everybody, I am back. I have completely put the batteries back up under, pulled all the slack out, ran it up and over. I then put in a 50 amp fuse, connected power. Then I have positive negative running to my parallel batteries. I went ahead and connected this one to the 50 amp I already have for my 40 amp charge controller. So they do both run off the same one. And I just connect the negative to here. I'm gonna get a bus bar to make this cleaner. And then I ran this D plus or D15, whatever you call it, ignition across, down my pillar. You can see it in the background there, under my floor. Took out that little piece, ran it up under that quarter panel, and then what you do is you connect a voltage detector or a current detector, and you find a fuse that is off when the engine is off and is on when the engine is on. Find one that doesn't have a fuse in it. Then all I did was I'll show you. Then get one of these like this and cut this to the thickness. So cut the edge off this side, the left and the right side, and make it the same width as a fuse and plug it into that fuse panel or that fuse socket. For me, it is number 24 right there. And I'm sure you could take apart the fuse panel and run it to the back and yada yada yada. Don't care. I've done it that way on other items in other cars, and I know that works. It's super easy also. Then you want to look up the adjust charge converter. I know that I want my constant voltage is 14.4, so 1 and 2 are on. I want my float voltage at 13.8, so that makes, let me get to the shade. Float voltage is 13.8, so that means S3 and 4 are going to be on. And then I'm using a lead acid gel battery, which makes 5 on. And if you don't know which switches I'm talking about, that is all of these little white things. Right here where my finger is at. All down is on all of them, which is what I need. So it's all set up. I'm ready to test. Wish you luck. If I can find my keys. Find my keys, I'll be back. Sorry, I'm zoomed in. It came on for like 2 seconds, it went off and hasn't came back on. They do not come with a temperature compensation probe. They're super cheap. I'm gonna buy one, and what you do is you just run it from here to the batteries, and it will help this thing adjust the charging rate based on the temperature of the batteries. Now, I should never really have an issue because my AC blows and hits the bottom of my batteries. I don't know what 4 is. It doesn't say. Let me go through this book. Tell me if you guys see it. Yeah, I have lead gel batteries right there. 4 is a LED display. Items in figure 1, page 3. Four is a LED display. I have no idea. I don't have an LED display. Anyway, we'll do a review on this, and I'll keep it in my system for about a week or so, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you guys watching. I really do. I'm going to get back into making videos. If you guys want to know how to install anything else, here is a Victron battery protect for your DC panel. I'm going to put that on now. I'll make a video for that. That'll be up soon. This video should be up within a day or so. I don't know how I'm going to edit these. I don't have a GoPro anymore. I'm recording all of this on my camera because it does 4K. I'll have to find some sort of app on my laptop to download these. Anyway, thanks. Later.